The Rebbe Shabbos, everyone Parshas Achrai Kedoshim. So an idea the Rebbe taught us in 1965. It's also in the Sichos, Volume 7, about the idea of the mitzvah of Orla. Orla is the forbidden fruit. The first 3 years, it's Orla. It's forbidden to eat. It's a strong level of Isur, of prohibition. It's nullified only in 200, not the regular 100, etc., or 60. And fourth year, the Torah tells us, Kodesh Elulim Lashem, we take the fruit up to Yerushalayim, like the second tithing, and we eat it as a praise to Hashem. And in the fifth year, seemingly it's permissible, and we move on with the fruit from the tree. But the pasuk says on the fifth tree is L'Hoisiv Tvuasa, is an addition to the fourth year. And the question is why? Because seemingly this, what's greater than praising Hashem? The best thing we could do is to take our mundane, seemingly, and bring it to Yerushalayim, and to make it holy as a way to praise Hashem. Why specifically on the fifth year do we have the addition, the L'Hoisiv Tvuasa, to add? This is an addition. The Rebbe brings the story, the Baal Shem Tov, of when the Baal Shem Tov met this holy person who is known as a Parish, a person who's cut himself off from the world, and he asked him how he's doing, and he said, he ignored the Baal Shem Tov. So the Baal Shem Tov said, you're stealing from God's livelihood, because it says, V'ata Kadesh, God is separate, Yoshev Tehillas Yisrael, but he lowers himself in the world through the praises of the Jewish people. And by not responding and saying, when someone asks you how you're doing, you don't say Baruch Hashem, thank you Hashem. So you're not giving praise to Hashem, you're not bringing the godliness down into this world. And the Rebbe asked the question, what's the Baal Shem Tov so worked up about? I mean, here's a person who spends his whole day learning Torah mitzvahs, totally disconnected from the world in a positive way. He's literally thrown himself into spirituality, and he says you're stealing from Hashem his parnasa, his livelihood. And the idea is, like the Rebbe says, is because when you're disconnected, as lofty as that is, that's not the kavanah, that's not the purpose. Like we spoke about last week and the years before, to have a ratzeh, to have a yearning, to be yearning upwards towards Hashem. Like the beginning of this week's Parsha, Achrai Kedoshim, the two sons of Aaron, they had a yearning towards Hashem, without a purpose, without a shuv, without an idea to bring it down. So then that's not that, as great as that is, but that's not the intention. It's still about you, about how you disconnect yourself from the world. You want to be lahaisif, you want to add to creation, you want to bring something additional into this world. It has to be specifically the mundane, specifically looking around within the world and saying Baruch Hashem, Yoshev Tehillas Yisrael. You want to bring the sanctity, the separation of God in the space of this world, is through engaging in this world and bringing Hashem down into this world. And that's also the Rebbe, in another talk, the Rebbe says an amazing idea about Aaron. It says, Achrai, that after the two sons of Aaron passed away, God tells Aaron, there's a specific way you guys are supposed to go and approach holiness, approach sanctity. And the Rashi gives a whole example as of a person who's told and warned not to do something like someone else did, so you shouldn't die, you shouldn't suffer like the other person suffered. So from this we learn that Aaron HaKohen also, and even on a higher scale, also had this tremendous yearning that his sons had, and they actually inherited it from Aaron. And therefore Hashem says to Aaron, yes, that quality that your sons had, but they misused it because they didn't translate it, and they didn't bring it down into this world. Yoshev Tehillas Yisrael, to bring down the sanctity in this world, you have to be careful for yourself as well. You have to know bezois, you have to know that the purpose of going into the Kodesh, the purpose of entering a place of sanctity is enable to walk out of that space and bring that experience into this world. And this is really what these two parshas is about, is the way of navigating Kedusha, navigating sanctity, navigating Kedusha also means separation, but we separate to unite. Someone asked us today in the Sikha class that if separation is the whole point of Judaism is achdus, is unification. So what's Kedusha? Why is Kedusha called separation? Because you're separating from your own interests in order to be able to unite, to have a common interest. Kedusha in itself is very important. We have to make sure that Kedusha, separation, holiness, sanctity, is done as a way that adds. When you reach out to another person, when you engage in another person, so then the Kedusha, then the holiness has actually places, it has vessels, it has a place to grow and to give out something of holiness. Just to finish off with an idea that the Mittler Rebbe says, when you talk about Kedusha, you talk about holiness. So you have, when a couple gets together, so it says you have the husband, the wife, and you have a Kadosh Baruch Hu. So then you could give birth to something holy, because you have the mundane together with the spirituality. But if you have just the what's known as the meat, the basar, and the gvina, the chalav, So then you don't. That's not kosher. That's in the logs of kashrus. Meat and milk don't mix together. When could the mundane mix in a healthy way? Is when the mundane has the third partner, the part of kedusha, the partner of holiness. But holiness also yoshev tehil Yisrael. It's not meant to be separated, but to bring it down into this world. We're having a good Shabbos, a holy Shabbos, a spiritual Shabbos. We be zeicha to the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu b'meir 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 mamish. Good Shabbos.